ignoring that science has been ignoring that there is a soul. Only just recently, physicists has acknowledged that there is a quantum soul. What is quantum soul? Very simply, we have 2 trillion nerve cells in our brain. Every nerve cell has 10 million microtubules. So this is a tiny part of that, like this, which is connect each other to work. And the quantum soul has been defined as the vibration of that microtubule. And every nerve cell also has, there are, in our body, there are 100 neurotransmitters. I'll talk about neurotransmitter later if I have time. Now I move to next slide. That, okay, now my hypothesis is that we conceive that the soul is the tiny electromagnetic energy. Now we need to measure it, that we need to have a machine which we can scientifically and differentially and plausibly measure or display these 3 existences of life. Now the question is, how can we do it? We know that we have X-ray to see our skeletons. We have MRI to see the soft tissues. We have various PET scan, CAT scan, all sorts of things. We can see our various tissues. And we have also machinery to see the electromagnetic field in our body. But that is still not good enough to pinpoint or differentially and scientifically diagnose or understand the soul and mind. Now there is a hope. Simon Kirlian, a Russian scientist, discovered a very simple machine. I will not go very detailed because of time limitation. So this is a photographic film. They put it under a glass top and connect to the high voltage. Anything put up on there has a colorful photograph. Let's move on to next photograph. I can show you that Kirlian photo is called aura or corona. That actually showing is a thumb or on my hand. There's a very dark inside, and there's the outside white part, and further outside is a bluish color. Same as coronavirus, we can see the 3 different colors. Now, when it's human experimentation gives us an enormous opportunity or is an amazing picture showing that 3 exactly the same, that theoretical construct of our 3 existence here. First one is a gross body, which is a dark color, and then the orange color outer, also a dark color, that is called our subtle body. And then further outside is a very light colored one, which is causal body. Now, this is the opportunity or the window whether we can try to find out something exciting, So then the objective is, if we can display or if we can identify this type of photograph in 3-4 stages of our life, whether we can get better understanding about soul and mind. Now, this is, say, live stage, deep sleep stage, called Turiya. I cannot discuss here. Many of you know very, very well. And at death, we call near-death experience and after death. What we can expect or expected result will be something like that, but still not sure. This is, we need to find out. That is our research. Live stage, the photograph will be like that. In deep sleep stage, I can define deep sleep stage within 10 seconds, that if you have anesthesia, you cannot count your time. It means your mind is completely at sleep. That is called deep sleep state, called Turiya. Then our photograph may not be like that. Could be this outer orange color would be quite faint. And then the next step is NDE, near-death experience or at death. Many people die, clinically declared, announced as death, but still they can come back. And we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of evidence of that. So we do not know when we take the photograph, how it will look like. So at this stage, our mind and soul is moving away. And after death, the photography should be like that. It means the total minus of mind and soul. So if we can display scientifically, that will differentiate between our gross body and our subtle body and causal body. Now, I would like to skip here because time may be not permitting me. How far I am, Dr. Datta?
You can have another 4 to 5 minutes.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Okay, now this is hypothesis number 2, which is actually beyond our intellect at the moment. First hypothesis may be possible, but this one is beyond our intellect, but still I can present here. I told you before that there is 100 neurotransmitter. What are the neurotransmitter? What it is? It is actually a chemical messenger in our brain, and that traverses whole body. That carries all the messages that we received and is passed to the whole body. And that is through our nerve cells. And every nerve cell is look like a sparkle here. Now, that is working through that is electric flow in our body. Now, there's a karma or activities and emotions. In the chapter 18, 14 to 16, what is showing that we have a adhishtan. It means that where place of karma. We have also a doer. And the fourth item is doibo. Doibo means fate. We do not know what it is. It is look like a divine control. Whatever we do, there is a somewhere it is controlled. So now we can hypothesize here that is a controlled by the super soul or the Param Brahma. And if we can hypothesize here that maybe it is a remote control with a Param Brahma, and this is working through our neurotransmitter, all the activities, whatever we do or don't do, consciously or subconsciously we do, that is controlled by the super soul. Now, can we do it? Do we have the intellect to identify this type of connection? Then hypothesis 1 is showing that, okay, if we can identify soul or mind somehow, then the next step would be identify between the connection between the soul and the Param Brahma, super soul. And that is the whole of my presentation today. But before I go, I'll show you what is that at the moment, the research about that Kirlian photography. Just only a couple of minutes.
Now at the University of California at Los Angeles, a laboratory exists where researchers are attempting to capture this human energy on film. The process is called Kirlian photography, named after Seymour and Valentina Kirlian, Russian scientists who pioneered it in the 1930s. The subject places her fingertips on a sheet of photographic paper, which lies on top of an electrically charged plate. Paper is exposed and developed like an ordinary black and white photograph. The results, however, are not at all ordinary. These Kirlian motion pictures reveal that an energy field, or corona, exists around each fingertip as it does around different parts of the body. This corona, rather than remaining constant, varies with changes in the subject's state of mind. In one experiment, the subject, calm at the start, is pricked with an unpleasantly sharp object. The corona of her thumb, at first brilliant and wide, becomes increasingly smaller and less distinct under stress, until, with the subject at her most anxious, it almost disappears. In a reverse experiment, a tense subject is invited to have a drink and relax, under strictly controlled conditions, of course. At the outset, the subject is anxious. The corona is thin. After 9 ounces of alcohol, it becomes broader. After 14 ounces, it displays what you might almost call a rosy glow. Yes, well, In an experiment done with cancerous and healthy rats, the results indicate a definite difference in the corona around their tails. The implications of this research are promising. If these tests are substantiated, perhaps one day Kirlian photography will be used as a tool in medical diagnosis.
I'll stop it here. And this is the end of my talk.
Now at the university.
But what that research has been going on in different countries, Also, it is mainly they are using just for pleasure sometime, and also some medical research going on. So it can be used for identify soul. Still there is a question, not a question, and also we can identify mind activity as it is shown in that short video. Also, it can be used for medical science. Identify cancers, neurodegenerative diseases like dementia, and all other diseases. So this is my end of my talk. So thank you very much for your listening. This is open now for discussion. What my last point is that whether is there any PhD student available or any funding anywhere? In Australia, it is a far cry to find funding for this type of research because it is very much spiritual in focus. But still, we can do it both, or whatever it is a medical science at the same time spiritual thing. But anyway, open to you. Please comment.
Thank you.
Please prosecute it, and thank you very much. Once
Thank
again.
you, Dr. Saha. The idea, the presentation you made, obviously, it is very complex in nature, very interesting. That is going to create. Can I ask if you can mute your system, please? Mute your audio, please. That will create a lot of provocating thought. That stimulation, quite interesting. And I'm sure that if that the great scholars, scientific scholars who are here today, they could have the special interest on it. It is very interesting topic. Now, let's have some points from the audience. Audience, please, the floor is yours. If you can ask questions, or you can write, you can type your questions.
Yes, sorry, I would like to make some points. Doctor,
please go ahead.
Yeah, so can you listen, please?
Yes, we can.
It's clear.
Yeah, this presentation, what was made by Dr. Sukanta Saha, was a very good one. It is a scientific presentation. When we do research and talk about only spiritual things without any scientific background, when you talk about Atma, Atma is indestructible, infinitely extended, blah, 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 all kinds of things. Again, we say it is very small and all this. A general person says that all these are bogus. What are they talking about? Atma is infinitely extended. Again, you say it is a very tiny particle that you cannot even see. So this does not sell to a person. So what Dr. Sukanta Saha was doing, that yes, let's do some scientific experiment and try to see whether Atma, Paramatma, and Antaratma, whether we can make some link between them. What is Antaratma? Antaratma has some components, what he explained, that it has mind, it has buddhi, buddhi is intellect, it has consciousness. All these together, we call actually a big mind. But if you make all the components, they are separate. So as for example, intellect guides your mind, mind guides your brain, and brain does all the other works. So these are all Antaratma. And then comes the Jivatma, Antaratma and Jivatma, and then comes our Paramatma. Paramatma, we also say that Jivatma is a part of Paramatma. So all these theoretical ideas that we always speak about, that spiritual things, when we correlate them with our scientific experiment, then it makes some meanings. So thank you very much, Dr. Sukanta Saha. What you did is exceptionally good, and we need to do further research in this area. And I am sure we'll get some project students, and also it will be funded by ARC, Australian Research Grant, or some other grants to do some research work in this area.
Thank you very much, Dr. Palit.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Palit. Quite nice observation and nice input. Dr. Shah, can you just stop sharing the slide, screen?
Oh, yes.
Slide, please. Now there are some points. If you all you go through our chat box, Dr. Roy, who stated the correlation of science and Atma raises a lot of questions. how to convince average people that this is true. Sukanta Shah, your input on it.
Okay, that is the question we have been facing for years after years, and spiritual masters and Swamijis and Acharyas has always mentioned that Atma is a theoretically we understand that our body and infinitely related with the Paramatma, which is also infinite. The consciousness, say for example, consciousness, what is this? It is actually say more than a universe. And then our sthula body is the precipitation of that consciousness. And consciousness is the expression of soul. That has already been described, and we understand. Bhagavad Gita said, our Bhagavad Mundaka Upanishad, Krishna Upanishad, our Brihadaranyaka Upanishad very clearly said all these things. We understand that. But now the questions always raised scientific in a scientific mind. Yes, we know that, we heard that, but what it is? Now, whether we can make some sense out of it, if we can display that I already showed you in differentially between these 4 or 5 stages of our life, whether we can make some sense out of it, then we can convince ourselves. Because we must have to satisfy our scientific mind and logical mind first. Also, where the science is finished, spirituality starts. We know it. But how many people in the modern life, they accept this type of theory? So they are always bogged down and driven by the logical mind, scientific mind. They wanted to see with a physical perception, sensory perception, everything. So that's why I'm going to do some sort of research. That's just a thought-provoking and a thought experiment. Whether we can make, we are answering the question. Also, we are making a lot of questions to answer the question.
Dr. Sukanta Shah, thank you. Nice input. I would like to see, obviously, during our next conference, some of the hypotheses are tested and you can present. That is quite interesting. The discussion, interesting points you are bringing. And obviously, these hypotheses are well supported by your own thoughts and the current thoughts that is existing within the literature. So we'd like to see what's the outcome in next. Let's see whether there are any other questions. We have 5 to 6 minutes. We have any other points, any other submission, any questions? I can see a lot of people there. Please.
This is Chakraborty speaking from Dhaka.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Chakraborty.
Yes, please.
If you allow me, now I think Dr. Sukanta Shah, Dr. Sajal Palit, and Dr. Nimai Karmakar, all these 3 genius people, they will come up with a closed circuit camera before us someday when we'll find that the Atma is going out of our body.
Very good. We'll do so if it is possible.
Yes.
If
Yes.
the project is feasible, if
Yeah.
the project is viable, then we can try that. We
Yes,
prepare for that.
Yes, everything is possible if we try, because man is directly related with God. Therefore, man can do many things, human beings, if they try. So this is really a very good session. I enjoyed, and the session before this, of course, it was also very enjoyable. And I think this has been a very remarkable day today for Bgrf UK to hold this kind of session where we have the brainstorms, very strong brainstorms, I should say. We have quite a lively discussion and very clear future we are finding for the Bgrf, that we will be coming up with new ideas and philosophies with the practical aspects of life. Thank you very much. This is Chakraborty from Dhaka, wishing you a very good and very happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Chakraborty. I hope that I'll take the permission from the audience to extend this discussion for another maximum 10 minutes, because there are some new faces who joined from the various parts of the world to share and mingle with us. We'd like to have a 8 to 10 minutes session at just feedback. I can see the people such as Dr. Sunil Roy is there. I know that his contribution to the society is uncountable. There are Professor Narottam Das, Professor Gorik Das. I can see many names, Nipendra Narayan Singh, all has the great wisdom. You know that world is facing a really problem. Please give us your feedback, how we can move, what we can do, please. Dr. Sunil Roy, yes, please.
Okay.
Always pleasure.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So who is say? Shall I say?
Dr.
Or someone
Sunil Roy,
else?
yeah, this is you.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Sunil Roy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Datta, for giving me the opportunity to talk. I think today's session for me, like learning medicine all over again through Atma, because from the day I started to study medicine, we learn body, then physiology, biochemistry. I think our previous speaker and the last speaker, they made a wonderful correlation between science and Atma. Obviously, I would like to believe that is true, but I will struggle to convince some people, because else is all hypothetical, you all knew it, it's all science, but I would like more convincing tools for me to correlate and communicate with whom I would like to relay these wonderful message. So that is my request from the researcher. Please give me more evidence to prove, but I don't know how that will happen, but that's what I was hoping for, like a closed circuit camera, the Dr. Chakravarti said.
Thank you. Thank you,
Look,
Dr. Roy.
can I talk only a minute about what the comment about? Thank you very much for your comment.
Thank
Actually,
you.
you know, the medical science, I'm a scientist for many years now, but the point is actually science cannot answer everything. At the same time, spirituality is always a subject of questions. Like it's always a belief system, authoritative. Now, we need to have some sort of bridge. Sanatana Dharma is, a lot of people are saying it's a belief. Actually, no, I do not accept that theory that is a belief. It is a quest for human life. And that quest is based on scientific research, based on all sorts of physical and other sort of research. We should be conversed together to come to a single point that we can logically place it in the human mind that should be acceptable and that can be logically explainable. Now, the point here is that really, is it possible? That's why I'm still struggling whether it is still possible. Okay, it is a thought-provoking, and it is also some sort of what is called a indirect way of identifying that the soul or mind, if we can display this different way. One of the things, as you are a doctor, I can tell you that there is a Lazarus syndrome. What is that Lazarus syndrome is? When people die at what is called a NDE, near-death experiences, there are about 100 subjects have been recorded. Those who are already clinically dead, declared as clinically dead, they come back to life. And that's why even after failed CPR and all sorts of medical endeavor, they come back to life. And we know that there is a cortical activity in our brain. If it is for 4 to 6 hours, then even the person come back to life, there will be a irreversible reactions, not continuing a good life. But Lazarus syndrome, a lot of people came back living a very good life, all sorts of memory came back. How it is possible? Medical science cannot explain. Lazarus syndrome cannot be explained, has not been explained. So there's a lot of unknown unknowns, lot of known unknowns, lot of unknown unknowns. So we are moving in that direction, whether we can make a little bit of sense out of it. That's all I can tell at this moment.
Thank you, Dr. Sukanta. Can we have just
Okay.
6-7 minutes? No responses, not question answer, just feedback. There are many people joined, many parts of the world. I would like
Yes,
to, we would
please
like to
comment.
just interact. Let us have just feedback, no responses. Professor Das, Narottam Das.
Okay, thank you, Professor Balta Datta. It's a very nice presentation from different speakers. I'm very much pleased to listen, learning. Of course, I also talk frequently with Shukanta Datta and learn from him something, scientific way, especially medical side. Even Dr. Sajal Palidda, we talk about engineering point of view. Even we say that one, even Nimaida and Nityananda also came to Melbourne. We learned, and even today we learn, even last about 2-3 years we are talking and learning. And today also more realistic on, we want to learn more and more, want to join in future seminar presentation. So that would be helpful for everyone. So, so it would be really useful for future, and then we can learn better and better from your future arrangement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have with us a great pleasure having with us Colin Mendebel. We have Dr. Sudeep Jana, quite a number of people. Maybe if you can just introduce very briefly, Rajesh, maybe from, we have other people. Could you please just maybe introduce, we have Ashutosh Dabna. Also, please, anyone would like to say, we have Hardon Bhomik, who is now in Bangladesh. Mr. Bhomik, you would like to just put something, please? Let us have some ideas, or anyone, please.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure to attend such an useful and informative symposium. I had an opportunity to attend, get a chance to get some information, knowledge, and ideas on Bhagavad Gita in such a way, in scientific way, medical, with regard to the conception of medical science, as well as engineering in science, all this thing. Really, I'm practicing Gita in a academic and theoretical books only. That different comments on ideas from the different commentators of different verses. But this is a new thing I came to know today from all our presenters. Really, it's very useful and new ideas, new knowledges from the intellectuals. I appreciate that. I humbly appreciate all of your hard work and sincerity and devotions for this thing. And especially Dr. Datta Poltuda, he's doing a fantastic job to gather all these laureate, I will say all the laureate from different corners of the world. And I'm fortunate to have a chance to take part of these days. And thank you very much to everyone. And thank you, Dr. Da and Bonadi. Thank you.
Thank you, Hardon Bhomik. Thank you so much. He reminded me to say something. One of the great South African philosophical doctrine that is called Ubuntu means I'm here because of you. You are there because of us. So you all are as part of the single same wonderful the world. Anything I get, obtain, my success, my humble life, my peace and harmony, because the world is behind us. So therefore, there is no difference between you and anybody in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a really very stimulating, interesting discussions. It seems that whatever the chaos, volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity in this world may have, with our own thoughts and understanding, because we are changing. We have that intellectual ability to move forward, and I'm sure that whatever the challenges we may have, we will be able to respond and get peace and harmony in our life. that's we wanted to say again, Happy New Year. Please visit our website. I would like to invite you, please, if you'd like to join as an editorial board member or become a member or the part of the International Conference Committee Advisory Board, please come forward. We need your support, intellectual support and all other ways, because without you, BGRF cannot sustain. Thank you, everyone. Santosh Sarkar, our president, for unconditional support. Bonia Chakraborty, we have Sujoy Saha, and all our trustees. I can see Sheila, Pradeep, and others who has been giving their times, and especially, most importantly, you. As I said, today such a wonderful day outside, sunny
Thank
day.
you,
You are
Dr.
taking care about
Boldu,
enjoy.
and thank you, Bonna Chakraborty, for a beautiful presentation. Uday Chakraborty from Bangladesh.
Thank you, Udoyda. Udoyda, another who is contributing quite a lot in Bangladesh towards the religious awareness, especially fostering Hinduism and awareness within the community and beyond. So thank you so much. Please get in touch. Wish you again all the very best and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you. And good night from Australia.
Good night, Dada. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A special gratitude from all of us, from the BGRF to you, for bringing that intellectually stimulated discussion. I'm looking forward towards it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
All right, thank you.